So Airsoft Station sent me a pistol that I want in my collection. Think they'll mind if I skip town for a while?
Welcome to USAirsoft. I'm Scott Slade Holmbeck, and you're probably here for a review of the FNX 45. So let's get into it by sharing that you can find this FNX with the links in the description below for $190 on Airsoft Station. A link for magazines and other package deals will also be in the description below, but let's get into the unboxing by getting this other tactical pistol out of the way. Setting the box down, we can see it's a bit flashy with FN logos and some stats like how this pistol chronos at 424 feet per second. I highly doubt that, but we'll check that out later. I normally never pay box stats any attention as all Airsoft replicas are a bit different from each other, but let's flip open the top and get a good look at what's inside the box. Coming out of the box first would be this instructional sheet, I guess you can call it that. This won't get too in-depth about the FNX honestly, most of the content on the sheet is stuff you'll probably actually figure out in 10 minutes of handling the pistol yourself. But I guess it's better than nothing. I know it's another thing to make graphics for, but why is it so difficult for higher end companies to include explosive views of their complicated products like guns? I'm no tech by any means, but I think they would greatly appreciate the thought to include exploded views. Moving along, we have this small package which includes an additional backstrap for the pistol, which is hated by a lot of other reviewers it seems, but we'll try it out later in this video. The complaints I've heard would be that the strap is a bit too small and sharp on bare hands, but seeing as I'm not too picky as of yet when it comes to grip sizes, I'm not too sure what I'll prefer on this VFC. Then after we have only the pistol and its plastic wrap, but after that's thrown to the side we can get a good look at its surface. To me this pistol in the hand feels really smooth and slick but a bit bulky. It's not a huge gun, but it's certainly not a compact one, but dang does it look good. Even the magazine is a bit big, but good looking with its mirror shine. You can actually see the camera and me in the reflection, but this magazine also sports a gas fill valve in the back instead of the normal under the magazine location. But where the valve isn't, a thick rubber pad with an FN trademark is. The magazine can hold 25 rounds in a double stack layout, and with the impressive efficiency the FNX possesses, you can triple if not quadruple mag dump this with the same gas fill before coming to a halt. When I bring the pistol back up to the cam, we can easily see many different engravings thrown about, including the FN Herschel trademarks on the back of the slide and on the pistol grip. And while we're in the back of the slide, I can show you the large ambidextrous safety switch. The safety can only be engaged whenever the hammer is back, although I'd like to say that the left side is a little bit more responsive than the right side. The right side seems a bit sticky while the left side just clicks in place easily, but this may change within some time as some parts will get worn in and shift position slightly. The next control is also ambidextrous, and that would be the magazine release. This release is quite nice and had no hang-ups. The release will also drop the magazine freely, so watch out for that. They even pop out slightly when it is released as the magazine is under some tension. The release was also equal on both sides in resistance and was in perfect reach when in need. More on the frame, we have many different textured points that can be seen all around the grip and all the controls like the slide release, takedown lever, and magazine release. While up front, a tack rail houses a barcode and a serial number plate. This is a bit different, but there's a point to be made about this plate that you'll understand in the shooting portion of this video. But moving back on the side, you'll notice this seam. This doesn't bother me very much, however, if it does to you, then it's a good thing I'm showing it to you now. Pulling back the slide, we can reveal another small tray that almost went unseen, which does add a bit more to detail. But releasing the slide, I can also point out the 45 ACP engraving and the orange thread protector, which can be removed, but I couldn't seem to get mine off with bare hands. Under the protector would be 14mm counterclockwise threads for the common muzzle devices, like suppressors. Next up, let's talk sights, which the FNX kicks right out of the park with its beautifully white dotted raised sights. These are very large and should help acquire targets very quickly unless you're just blasting madly. Now these are raised for two reasons, one being if you're using a suppressor, you may obstruct your sight picture, and the second reason would be that you can easily attach an RMR on this pistol with the attachment point under this plate that can be removed with the appropriate Allen wrench. What about the safety though? Well, what does the FNX have for a safety? Well, just like the VFC M&P we went over the last time, the only means of a safety we have would be a trigger safety, meaning if you don't pull a trigger with a full finger, then you shouldn't have a discharge. Now a lot of people don't like these types of safeties, but I got a good idea. Just don't put your finger in the trigger guard if you don't mean to shoot it. And if you're curious, yes, you can power stroke the slide. Now for the takedown, we have a simple takedown which is similar to the Beretta M9. First, make sure to remove the magazine and then pull the slide back until the takedown pin and notch match up. Next, turn the takedown pin downward, which will release the slide from the frame. This will make cleaning and adjusting your hop up, which is this wheel right here, much easier. Then after that, go ahead and rewind that process and do a quick systems check and you should be fine. When it came to chrono, we got sub 350 readings with the 0.2 gram BB, which gave us a high of 332 and a low of 307. This kind of shocks me as I thought we would be receiving readings at around 380, but
Really, I have no idea what's going on here. Maybe this is just how ours is, or maybe our chrono is acting up. Now after we tried basic 0.2s, we moved on to 2.8s, and like expected, we saw a drop in FPS, leaving us with a high of 281 and a low of 262 feet per second. Now when it comes to changing the back straps of the grip, you'll only need one tool to use as a push pin. You'll use this tool to push in a lever that can be accessed through this small hole. While pushing the lever in, you will need to push the back strap downward until it comes off completely. Then after, you can change it out if you so wish to. After putting on the smaller grip that was included, I can see why other reviewers hate it so much. It's a bit too small even for my hands. It makes the edges a bit too sharp, and with the grip that surrounds the rest of the pistol grip, it makes it a lot worse. I'm not saying don't try it, but I really don't see you liking it very much. Another thing I like to point out before we shoot is an odd magazine issue. When the magazine is completely full and you insert it into the gun, the magazine will leak slightly before it's seated in properly. I'm not sure what causes this, but it does stop after a certain amount of gas is let out, or when the magazine is pushed in all the way. Now let's shoot this a bit before we get into a final conclusion, shall we?
That just fell off. That goes underneath there, and just the force of the recoil made the little serial code and QR code fall off. Well, that's very interesting. Put that off to the side and just keep going. Safeties off. I'm not in frame. There we go. And we're done.
Now as you saw in the start, the serial code plate that was under attack rail easily broke away from the frame, as the glue that held it in was not exactly a permanent fix. Now when I pointed this out to other owners, they said that this happened to them within the first few shots. So if you're planning on getting one of these for yourself, I'd say prepare for years of fallout as well, or maybe you should find a way to make it rock solid before a big game if you wish to keep it. So now after this review and handling the pistol for myself for a while, would I recommend it? Well, I'd say that this pistol can easily hold its own. In many aspects it's built tough and has a strong recoil, so much so that it can make minor parts fall off, like the serial plate. The gas consumption is great, and options for personality are there if you like tacking out your guns. I like the look it gives off even though it's a larger pistol, but with that comes a nice relaxed fit in the hands. This pistol is a bit of a cult classic already, so I'd say that there are some owners watching this right now. So if you have any questions about this piece, be sure to ask them in the comments below. So veteran owners may answer them, or maybe I'll give a swing at them. But if you also have an idea for a review, make sure to also throw that in the comments below. But until the next video drops for you all to enjoy, I'll be sure to see you all next time.